Okay, so I'm going to continue with missing conjunctions. That's today's topic. Sorry, it's not working. Sorry. Okay, I think now it's working. So let's talk about missing conjunctions. Do you know what is a conjunction?
Yes,
So
it's a word that
yes,
unites
that's right. To
two ideas or sentences.
very good. Okay, so they can also be known as connecting words or linking words. And yeah, that's right. They unite or they join two parts of a sentence. Okay. In this lesson, we're going to check two different types of conjunctions, which are correlative conjunctions and coordinate conjunctions. So these two types of conjunctions are the most common that are going to appear on the TOEFL exam. Let's start with coordinate conjunctions. Okay, we use coordinate conjunctions to connect, to join, to equal sentence parts. Okay, that's the key word, equal. So, for example, it could be single words, phrases, and independent clauses. Okay, when two full clauses are joined, they are usually separated by a comma. The most common conjunctions that we have here are and, or, but, nor, or so. Okay, we use and to add information. Okay, we use or to give options or choices. We use but to express contrast or opposition. We use nor to negate something. And we use so to express the effect or the cause, okay, the result of something. In this type of conjunctions, the conjunction so is used to join only clauses, not single words. Okay? So is used only to connect clauses, not single words. We have conjunctive adverbs are distractors. So we're talking about here about adverbs. Adverbs like moreover, therefore, however, or nevertheless are also connecting words, but they are adverbs actually. So when you find these kind of options on your exam, the most probably is that they are distractors. Okay. So correlative conjunctions are two-part conjunctions. It means they have two words, okay, to have this to create these conjunctions. Okay, and they are used to connect clauses, phrases, and words. For example, they are like both and, not only but also, either or neither nor. So as you can see, correlative conjunctions, here we have two words, both and, not or phrases, not only but also, and so on. Okay, either or, neither nor. So when we use these type of conjunctions, we will always have something in the middle of them.
We always what?
Have
Sorry.
something in the middle of them. Yeah, something like both and you and me. No, it's not like it's like both the dog and the cat. So there is something in the middle of two conjunctions. Okay.
Okay.
For example, both verbs and conjunctions are members of the family. Okay. Or Dominic studied not only mathematics but also computer science. Okay. So, for example, here we have the automobile began as a toy, developed into a powerful force for social change. What do you think that which connection should we use here?
Okay. What developed
Very
into a
good.
powerful voice?
That's right. It expresses contrast. Okay, at the beginning it was just a toy, but at the end it became a force, a social change. Okay, so it was something. It, from something that's really small, it changed to something drastic. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, this one. Singer Mariana Anderson trained in the United States and abroad. There you have a keyword. Are you still there?
The answer
Could
should
be.
be,
Huh?
but it comes to my mind that the A,
Right.
I'm not so sure, but maybe A,
Okay. Here you have this keyword, the word and. Actually,
and
the option and here in the sentence gives you the answer. Remember, well, in this case, the answer is letter C, both, because we're talking about two different places. In this case, we're talking about in the United
I
States
see.
and abroad. And this is a
Mhm.
correlative conjunction. You remember, this is a phrase, and we have here both and. Okay?
Yes, both.
And.
Could you please go
Yes.
back to the previous one?
To this
To
one?
the one that the words that are
Yes,
there?
it is. This one, the correlative conjunctions.
Uh-huh. And not only, but also it's only one, right?
Yes, yes, that's right. They will always be together.
Okay.
Do you know the meaning of all these correlative conjunctions?
Yes.
Perfect. So, well, let's say about this conjunctions topic. And we have an exercise on the platform called missing conjunction. Okay? It's exercise number 30. Now, the next topic is missing negative words.
But
Yes.
what were the correlative conjunctions? Because we saw the coordinate conjunctions.
No, correlative conjunctions. Correlative is when you have two words. Coordinate conjunctions, so you have
Okay.
only one word. This one are coordinate conjunctions.
Okay.
Okay? And, or, but, nor, so are coordinate conjunctions. And, both, and, not only, but also either, or, neither, nor are coordinate conjunctions.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Then the missing negative
Yes. Now let's talk
conjunctions.
about missing negative words.
Ah,
Okay.
mhm.
So these words might be like no, none, nothing, no one, nor, without, or never. The first thing that we need to know is the use of this word. Okay, we need to identify what part in a sentence is that word. So no is an adjective. So it describes a noun. Okay, for example, it says there was no milk. A no is the noun milk, so it's saying there is nothing. Okay, none it's a pronoun, so it might be the subject of the sentence. Okay, or the object. It says he took a lot of pictures, but almost none of them turned out. In this case, none is the object of the sentence. Nothing, it's also a pronoun. I said there was nothing in this briefcase. Okay, one more time, it's the object of the sentence. No one, it's also a pronoun. And here I am using it as a subject of the sentence. No one arrived at the meeting at no time, on time. Nor, it's a conjunction. We already checked it. And it says, for example, he's never been fishing, nor does he plan to go. When we use nor, we always need a negative word in the same sentence. Okay? We need to be talking in negative.
He's never fishing.
Nor
No.
does he plan to go. It says, él nunca ha pescado ni planea hacerlo. Okay?
He's never
Let's,
been fishing.
I'm going to explain a little bit about nor here. I'm going to make a house.
Yes. You know what?
Yes.
El tampoco, I don't know if that comes there.
The neither?
Ajá, neither. Those I think are very confusing.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, let me start with nor first. Okay? How do we use nor? Okay, we can use nor in only one sentence, but the sentence must be negative. Okay, we use nor as a coordinated conjunction, so we have to connect to clauses, words, etc. Okay, but if we use it, the sentence must be negative. That is, for example, I might say, I don't like oranges nor bananas. Okay, so in this case, I am connecting two words. You can use nor to connect only, for example, words. But we can also use nor to connect clauses. Okay? But when we use it to connect clauses, there is something that you need to know. Okay, there is an structure that we must know. Okay, for example, I don't like to play soccer. Nor, and this is an important thing, do nor do I like to play basketball. Okay. So, as you can see here, we are connecting sentences. The first sentence says, I don't like to play soccer, and the second sentence is, I don't like to play basketball. Okay, but as we are using the word nor, every time we use nor, we need to use the auxiliary verb after nor, and we use it in an affirmative write another example. I can't run fast, comma, nor can I swim. So this is it. Every time you use the word nor to connect two clauses, after the word nor, we need the auxiliary verb of the first sentence. Okay?
Okay.
So that's how we connect these clauses. So as you can see here, the auxiliary verb is not necessary because we're connecting words. We connect clauses with the auxiliary verb after nor. Okay?
Okay. We are when we are connecting two clauses.
That's
only.
right. Yes, only. That's when you are going to need the auxiliary verb. That's how we use nor. Now, you were asking me about neither nor. For example, it is also different. We have two possible options or uses. Before we check neither nor, I want to start with neither. Only neither. For example, we use neither to say, as you said, tampoco. And I use it as, I don't like to play soccer. And the first person says, let me add here. A and B. A says, I don't like to play soccer. I'm sorry, I don't play soccer. And the other person responds, neither do I. It means yo tampoco. And we need to follow this structure. Always, we need to say first the word neither, then the auxiliary verb, and then the subject of the sentence. Okay? This auxiliary verb corresponds to the subject. So I could also say, for example, a different person to say, I'm sorry?
Neither does he.
That's right, neither does he. Okay. It would be the same if I say, for example, I can't, let's use a different model. I will not study science. Okay. Person B says, neither will I. Okay. Only when we're talking about I, okay, and with the verb to be, or normally we can omit it, you can say me neither. Okay, that's informal, but it's also correct. Okay, let's say here I can say me neither. Okay, me neither possible answer, but it only works with I. Okay, if I am talking about he or she, I cannot say he neither or her neither. That is not correct. Only me.
Oh, really?
Yes, like when we say, for example, me too. Okay, with two we can say it, but with he or she we cannot say.
But she too? No.
I'm sorry, no, we cannot say she too. Okay?
Okay.
I said me too, but I said she too. Or her too.
He neither tampoco. O sea, only with
With I, with me. Yes, that's right. Only with me. Okay? And it is informal. Normally it is used in speaking. Okay? And this is how we use the word neither. Now, neither nor, it's a correlative conjunction. We need to have the two words. Okay? And we say, for example,
so when we want to express that she neither.
I would say here, yes.
Using neither possibility that is correct.
That's right. Yes, we have to say neither will she.
Depends. Okay.
That's right. Okay. Any other question with neither here?
No.
No, perfect. Okay. Now, for example, when we have a quadratic conjunction, we use neither nor. Okay. Here we have two possible options, and we're saying that I don't play soccer, neither basketball. Okay. En ambos casos, aquí la palabra neither y la palabra nor significan ni. Yo no juego ni basketball ni fútbol. Okay. Now, the important thing here. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, for example, sometimes in Spanish we say, I don't like apples, neither bananas, and then even a third one.
Yes.
So
you add another nor.
Another nor.
Yeah, you can say I play neither soccer nor basketball nor tennis. Okay.
Okay.
Now.
And doesn't matter if they are list of something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it doesn't matter.
Nor.
Yes, that's right. There is no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here the important thing here in this sentence is that you do not express a sentence in negative form. As you can see, this sentence is affirmative. I say I play. I'm not saying I don't play. You see it? So the word neither, and that's what we're checking here. Then we're talking about negative words. The word neither, it's a negative word. So when you use it, you must use it in an affirmative sentence because the word neither is going to give a negative meaning to the sentence. It is like, for example, when we use the word never. The word never, it's also a negative word. And I say, for example, I have never eaten spiders. So as you can see, I am using the word never in an affirmative sentence. Okay, but I am giving a negative.
Negative word.
That's right. So the negative word never, it's changing the meaning of the sentence. It's the same with the word neither. You're going to use neither in an affirmative sentence because neither gives the negative meaning. Okay? Question with neither nor?
No.
Perfect. Okay, so we were with, well, all of this. Then we have not the one we're checking, which is a conjunction, okay? And this is why here we have nor does he plan to go. Okay, we said that after nor, when we connect two clauses, we need the auxiliary verb. Okay. We have also without, which is a preposition. Okay. And finally, we have the word never, which is an adverb. Okay. The word never, as it is an adverb, it normally goes before the verb. Now, the negative word not is used to make almost any kind of word or phrase negative. Verbs, prepositional phrases, infinitives, adjectives, and so on. Okay. Normally, we use not for everything. Both no and not can be used before nouns, depending on the meaning. For example, there is no coffee in the pot. It means that it is empty. Or this is not coffee, it's tea. So what's the difference here?
No.
Here the word no.
The difference.
Yes?
No, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. Here the difference is that the word no is modifying the word coffee. Okay, there is no coffee. I'm telling you that there is no coffee, only milk, sugar, etc. If there is something else, but not coffee in the pot. But here the word not is modifying the verb. This is. Okay, so we're talking about something in specific, and we're saying that This is not coffee. It's tea. It's something else. So we are not seeing that there is no coffee. Yeah, maybe there is coffee, but the object that we're talking, or the subject here, is not coffee. Okay?
Okay, so when we use the no, it's plus a noun. And when we use not, it's modifying the verb.
Yes, that's right. You remember here on the list, we checked that no is an adjective. And the word no will always modify the noun. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the adjective no is also used before the word longer to mean not anymore. In this case, we use the word no before the word longer. Okay, and it means not anymore. For example, I no longer read the afternoon paper. Okay, or I do not read the afternoon paper anymore. So what do we have here? Let me pause again.
Any longer and any more are using instinctively.
Okay, repeat. Any longer and what else?
Any more.
Are using distinctly.
Uh-huh.
Well, we can use them to express exactly the same, yes, but there are some rules about them.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I want to explain to you right now here. The point here is that when you use no, you're going to use no in affirmative sentence. Or well, in this case, let's say no longer. Okay? And we use not anymore, obviously we have the word not, so it's used in negative sentences. So if I have, for example, I
don't work anymore.
Sorry?
I don't work anymore.
Okay, good. And work anymore. So here we have the word not, which is the conjunction with do. Okay, and we have the word anymore. But if I use no, I say I no longer play. I'm sorry, work. There you go. Okay. And in this case, I'm explaining with no longer and not anymore, but actually it's the same uses for any and no. Okay, because we can have different options. For example, I'm just going to explain with no anymore. Okay? You know that you can say, for example, nobody. You can say anybody. You can say anything, or you can say nothing. Okay, or no one, or we can say anyone. Okay, anywhere, or nowhere. Okay, so all these expressions that we might have, and also even just the word no, the word any. Okay, the rule is no, it's always used in affirmative sentence. And the word any, it's always used in negative sentences. Any of these words. So I can say, for example, nobody is my friend. Okay, this is an affirmative sentence. But here I have to say, anybody isn't my friend. Okay, because I have to use it in a negative sentence. Okay, here I could say I have nothing, and here I will say I don't have anything. Okay, and this is the rest. So here also we have no or any. It will be the same. You will use no always in an affirmative sentence, and you will use any in a negative sentence. In this case, we're talking about anymore or no longer. Okay?
You, for example, give me this example.
Yeah.
I no longer work.
Uh-huh.
Is it correct to say I work no longer? No.
That's the rule here. It says that we use no longer before the word to mean not anymore, and we are going to use it after the verb. Before the verb, I'm sorry, before the verb. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Any other
Only,
question here?
only,
Yes.
only no longer or what? Or
No, all of them. All of them. These examples that I give you, like nobody, nothing, no one, nowhere, it's exactly the same. Okay? It depends on what you want to take. For example, here as I said, this is nobody, and well, the point here. I'm sorry. It depends on what are you using the word for. For example, nothing is a pronoun. So it can be at the beginning of the sentence as a subject, or it can be after the verb as an object. Okay?
Mhm.
If you use no, it's always an adjective. So remember that adjectives always go before a noun.
Mhm.
So that's why we have no longer work, because it is an adjective. Only the word no. Okay? Without, it's a preposition. So it depends on what are you using the word for. Because some of them can have different meanings. For example, the words that I gave you here, um, so here, nobody can be the subject of the sentence, or it could also be the object of the sentence. It's a pronoun. Okay. Nothing is also a pronoun. It could be the subject or the object of the sentence. Okay. It's the same with nowhere. Okay. But no, it's just an adjective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Questions? So let's check the exercise. It says there is almost vegetation in the Badlands, a barren region of South Dakota. How would you complete this answer? Not, nor, none, no.
There is almost no vegetation.
Not
No. D as in
letter
day.
D. Very good. Yes, it's correct. Letter D is the answer. Okay. Now, in this case, if we use not, you know that it should be isn't, okay, or is not. If it were not, it would be here, not here. So that is correct. It's no. So by the way, probably the most common correct answer for this type of problem is the adjective no. Okay? Probably.
Mhm.
In the TOEFL exam, if you are not sure, the tip or the recommendation is to always choose no. Okay? If you don't know, choose no. Remember that we should always guess in the TOEFL exam.
Yes.
So for this, we have exercise, which is completing structure problems involving negative words. Okay? And here we're done. We're finished with the structure. Okay?
Wait.
Yes,
I'm
tell
going
me.
to write down the exercise.
Sure.
I was going to tell you
Yes.
that there were some exercises in which I found the use of so and
Uh-huh.
that.
So that?
Because you know where we last class we saw the word order, no?
Yes.
And I did the exercises on
Oh, that.
platform.
Uh-huh.
and I found in some of them so bad.
Uh-huh.
Um, and we didn't study.
We didn't check so that.
We didn't check that.
It's basically the same. Okay. For example, let me. Well, as long as I know, I will say something like, I am writing this blog or
So that is the same as para, no?
I'm sorry?
So that is the same as
Para?
para in Spanish.
Uh,
It's the same as in
yeah,
other.
it could be para que, yeah, it could be. It is not exactly the same as in order to, actually.
Okay.
But we use so that to express the result.
Okay.
Okay, we use these words to express result. That's it. And the only difference that I can remember right now is that when we use so that, we don't use a comma. I said, for example, I am writing this blog so that I can explain the topic. Or explaining grammar can be difficult. So here I have a comma. So I will try to use easy examples. So we use so that. You don't need to use the comma before so that. Now, there is another thing because of the comma. Um, it's this. But when we use so that, we can use it in both places. For example, I can start with so that I can explain. I am writing this book. And this sentence cannot make this place it here. Okay, so the first example I have, I'm writing this blog so that I can explain the topic. In this case, we can switch the sentences and we can say, so that I can explain the topic, I am writing this blog. But when you use the word so, only the word so, I'm saying explaining grammar can be difficult. So I will try to use these examples, but I cannot switch the sentences. I cannot say, so I will try to use an easy examples. Explaining grammar can be difficult. Okay. Now, como traducirlo al español, como decía, so that podría significar para, yes. o para qué, ¿okay? Estoy escribiendo este blog para que yo pueda explicar el tema. Y so se podría traducir como entonces. Explaining grammar can be difficult. Explicar la gramática puede ser difícil. Entonces, yo trataré de usar ejemplos fáciles. Y incluso en español, si las intercambiamos, sí se entiende si yo digo, para que yo pueda explicar el tema, estoy escribiendo este blog. Pero no puedo decir, entonces intentaré usar ejemplos fáciles, explicando la gramática puede ser difícil. ¿Sí?
Sí, ok.
Okay. Any other question before I continue?
Eso no puede ir al principio de la oración.
No, bueno, en este caso no, por las cláusulas, ¿no? Sí puede ir al principio, pero sería por caso de meaning.
Okay.
Sí, como decimos, eso sería tener un significado diferente y so significaría también. Si yo digo, por ejemplo, I love chicken, y so do I.
Sí.
Sí puede ir al principio, pero tiene un significado diferente. ¿Qué significa también? ¿Ok?
Sí.
Inclusive, por ejemplo, podríamos iniciar una conversación como, por ejemplo, I have 3 dogs. And then the other person says, so, you love pets. Está bien aquí utilizar el so al principio de la oración, pero en realidad es porque esta oración se está relacionando con esta oración, la que dijo la otra persona. ¿Listo?
Okay.
Y hay que tener el mismo significado de entonces. Yo tengo 3 perros y respondo, entonces tú amas las mascotas. Aquí sí puedo iniciar, digamos, continúo una conversación, pero si yo comienzo a decir, por ejemplo, so I love English. Sí, exactamente. No tiene sentido la oración. Yo no puedo llegar con alguien y llegar y decir, oh, so I love English. Like, what? That's not. Okay. Okay. Any question?
No.
Y por último, ya que estamos con el so, hay otro uso del so que utilizamos para poder hacer énfasis. Entonces, y en este caso va a ir acompañado normalmente de las palabras much y many. Por ejemplo, I love you so much. Okay. La so no significa absolutamente nada, no se traduce. Okay. Solamente se utiliza para poder expresar énfasis. Okay. Para exagerar algo. Okay. Or like, he is so tall. Tampoco se traduce la palabra so, pero está haciendo énfasis sobre la palabra tall. En lugar de decir él es alto, digo él es altísimo. ¿Ok? Estos podrían ser los diferentes usos de so. Any other question?
Okay. Así que it's clear.
Perfect. Okay, so with this we finish structure. If you remember, I told you that the first section of the exam it's listening section, and listening is divided in 3 parts, which is dialogues, extended conversations, and mini talks. Now we start with the second section of the TOEFL exam, which is written and structure section. We already checked structure, and today we finish with this section. And now we're going to continue with written expression. Okay?
Written expression.
Yes. And actually, on this section of the exam, it's totally different. Okay? In the previous sections, we used to have 4 possible answers. Okay? We had a question or a sentence, and we had to complete with one of 4 options. In this case, on this section of the exam, we do not have four possible options. We do have them, but they are not as answers.
Correct the
Yes,
mistake.
that's right. They have a mistake. The sentences have a mistake, and we need to find the mistake of the sentence. Okay, in between four possible options. So let's. Let me tell you some characteristics about this section. Number one, in this part of the test, there are 25 sentences. Okay, they will always have, or the TOEFL will always have 20 sentences about this. In each sentence, four expressions or single words, 2 or 3 word phrases are underlined. Okay? It might be only one word, it might have a phrase or a sentence or something. Okay? But there will always have four possible answers. Your job is to identify which of these phrases must be rewritten. Okay? It can simply be omitted in order for the sentence to be correct. So, here, this is the point. It must be rewritten. There is a mistake in the word, and it must be changed for another word. Okay? You cannot just think, or maybe if you read a sentence that okay, this word is like extra. It's like something else in the sentence. That's not the point. Okay? So that is not the mistake. You cannot just omit the sentence. Okay? And all the errors involve grammar or usage, never punctuation or spelling. Grammar rules or usage. There are no punctuations or spelling. If you read a word and you said, it says, I don't know, license, and license is with S or Z. It's what? How do you spell it? Now, don't waste time on that. There are never spelling mistakes on the TOEFL exam. Okay? Or punctuation. If you say, oh, there is missing a comma or a period here, that is not the mistake. Okay. So, for example, in the exam it appears something like music, dramatic, and art contribute to the culture of any community. Which of
Dramatic.
these were dramatic?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yes.
That's right. Dramatic. And this is, well, we'll continue talking about this, about parallel sentences, okay? Because dramatic is an adjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have music, which is a noun, and art, which is a noun. So dramatic is an adjective, and it should be drama. Okay, music, drama, and art, etc. What about this one? Lenses might having either concave or convex shades.
Having.
That's right. Every time we have a modal verb, we need to have a verb on its base form. Okay. So what's the best way to answer written expression items? First of all, you should always begin with a quick reading of each sentence to find any obvious errors. Okay, you must just read the sentence and discover, oh, this is a mistake. Okay, do not only read the underlined words, because if you do that, maybe you will not understand which one is a mistake. Okay, in most, this is the key word. In most items, the underlined expression is incorrectly only in the context of the sentence. Okay. In most items, the underlying expression is incorrectly only in the context. Okay? So don't answer the question until you have read the entire sentence. Easier questions can be answered after the first reading. Mark your answer and go on. If you don't find the error immediately, reread the sentence and concentrating on the underlying expressions. You can use the same techniques for reading these items as you would to read other materials, such as newspapers or magazine articles. What is this? Or what I'm talking about? Okay. It is like, for example, when you are reading in a dictionary, when you're looking at a word in a dictionary, you skim. That's what we when we're reading a dictionary. You don't read all the words. You're just reading like everything, okay, but just looking for a word. That's what we do. Okay, we move really fast. Our eyes are moving from one side to another, just looking for the word that we need. Okay, so that's what we should do here, because these words do not have like a lot of information. We just need to focus on these words. So the first thing, read the whole sentence. Okay, let me see where it was set. First, read. Okay, first read the sentence and answer. That's it. If you can find it, reread the sentence, but now focus or concentrate on the underlying expressions. Okay. However, in this part of the test, these expressions may be used incorrectly. It would be helpful, in fact, if you could read these sentences aloud. But of course, that is not permitted. Well, if you present the TOEFL exam online, it is permitted. You can do it. There is no problem. They are supervising you and you are alone. Okay, so that's not a problem. You can, however, try your eyes to move slowly and pronounce the sentences in your mind. Remember, as I told you before, sometimes when you pronounce or when you say the sentence, you realize that there is a mistake because it sounds weird. Okay? If you pronounce it and it sounds weird to you, it's pretty sure that that's the mistake. Okay? If after all this you haven't identified the error, so let's rate it again and go through a mental checklist of the most common errors. So these are the most common errors that you will find on this section. Word form, word choice, verb error, parallelism, pronoun errors, and singular or plural noun errors. Okay, if you remember this list, it's easy for you to identify which might be the mistake. Okay, for example, we have already checked parallelism. So if you don't know the mistake, think, okay, parallelism. Okay, this is a noun, this is an adjective. This is a mistake because you know that there must be all nouns. Okay, verb error. It's in present, so the verbs must be in present. If it's in past, verbs must be in past, etc. Pronoun errors. If we are talking, well, this is about using object pronouns, personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, etc. So maybe they say something like, me, I don't know, me is working. Or, I don't know, let's say you and me are working. That is a mistake because we cannot say you and me. You must say you and I are working. Because it's the
Yes,
subject of
the other day you explained that to me.
Yeah.
And you said
Yes.
that the
Personal pronouns?
personal pronouns comes before the verb.
That's right. So that's
And me
after
no
object.
No, object from.
That's right. Me is an object pronoun, so it should be after the verb. So if you memorize this list, word form, word choice, verb error, parallelism, pronoun errors, or singular plural, you are going to identify the mistake. Okay? Or it's going to be easier for you to do it. So after all this, if you can't find an error, just eliminate expressions that seem to be correctly, then as always. Okay? Now, yes?
So when we say, sorry, when we say you and me,
Yes?
are you and me are going to school, it's incorrect.
Yes, that's right. Is it correct?
Yes.
Can't really circle this one. There you go. Okay. So what are the most common errors that you will find on this reading section of the TOEFL? So the most common mistake that you're going to find is the word form. Okay, here we're talking about percentages, okay? It's not the number of questions. So normally word form is the most common mistake that you will find. There is 21% of possibilities to find this type of mistakes. Number two, word choice, which is 15%. And verbs it's 10%. Then we have the rest: parallel structures, pronouns, singular, verbals, prepositions, articles, fourth order, comparative and superlative conjunctions, and other types of errors. Okay, in these takes or this information was taken based on analysis of 20 different exams. Okay, so I am not inventing this information. I'm using the information from a book, and the person who created the book analyzed 20 exams, and they took this percentages. Okay, from there. So there are more possibilities to find these three types of mistakes. Okay, and as you can see, they go with this order. Okay? So always try to focus first on word form, then word choice, verbs, and then check the rest of the list. Okay.
Okay.
So obviously, in this course, or the lessons we're going to follow are going to be in the same order as in the previous chart. Okay, I'm going to teach you all these topics or all these types of errors that you might find in the same order. Okay, obviously we're going to start with word order, word errors. Okay, when taking actual exams, once you have found an error, don't worry about how to correct it. If you know that this word is a mistake, do not think, okay, I know that this is wrong, but what is the right answer? Do not waste time thinking on the answer. Okay, it is not necessary. You don't get extra points if you write the answer or the right word. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, we are not in the exam. We are taking a class. We're taking this course, and during the course, I'm going to ask you to, besides giving me the mistake, you should also tell me which should be the answer. Okay.
Okay.
So, what are the tips for this section in general? It's like a summary of what I have just said. Number one, skim each sentence. What I told you, like when you're reading a dictionary, skim. Okay, read the sentence like really quick, looking for obvious errors. Okay. Number two, as I said, if you haven't found the error, read the sentence again carefully, concentrating on the underlying parts. And remember to do the mental checklist. Remember the mental checklist? Yes. Word form, word choice, verb error, parallel pronoun errors, and pronoun errors. That's our mental checklist. Okay, which are the most common mistakes that you will find. Number three, if you still don't know which is the answer, try to eliminate the ones that seems correct for you. Okay, and if more than one option remains, put a mark on that item, and then you go back when you have if you have the time. Okay, if not, just guess between the two or three options that you might have. Okay. Finally, if you finish all these exercises or these sentences before the time is over, go back and work on the problems that you marked. Okay? So here you will go back to these exercises. So, number one, skim. Read quickly the sentences and select the answer. Number two, reread again and concentrate on the underlying parts, doing a checklist. Number three, if you don't know the answer, try to eliminate the ones that you think that they may not be correct, and skip the sentence. Go to the next exercise, okay? And after, when you finish everything, if you still have time, go back to these exercises and answer. Okay? And don't forget, always get, okay? Questions?
Okay.
Perfect. So let's start with errors with word forms. Okay?
Yes.
What are these mistakes? Okay, by far the most common type of written expressions errors involve word forms. Okay, normally you will find 8 or 9 questions or exercises about